Hey everyone, hope you're having a good day and a good week so far. Making another video for y'all. Hope you enjoy this. I started thinking after I uploaded the last one, trying to make it like still an uplifting thing, trying to work on things to make it so that's relatable to everyone. And so just kind of give you my background a little bit. I went to Kentucky Christian University, have a degree in Bible and ministry with an emphasis in youth and family ministry. So that's why you kind of get the Bible stuff that's in there, but I'm trying to relate to everyone, and I want this to be a channel where you can maybe connect and get away from some of the negativity. And this has a avenue where I can take it wherever I want it to go. But I started thinking, up to this point, my main success that I can think of, there's been some good things that have happened, some good moments that have happened, but the main success that I've had was right after I got out of college at Kentucky Christian University, is when I came to my hometown. And just right after I got out of college, I went to this lock-in at a church, and it was the biggest church with the biggest youth group in the area. And my biggest problem, is when I would sit down and listen to a sermon, because of my Bible college background, I could critique the sermon without getting anything out of it, and try and argue in my head with what the person was saying, whether I agreed with them or disagreed with them. I could get to this point where I might actually shut them off because I'm not agreeing with what they're saying. But this one, I was like, God, please let me get something out of this. Let me take something away from it. And because I wasn't agreeing with what the guy was saying, because to me, he was proof texting. He was trying to make a verse in the Bible say something that it wasn't saying in context. At least in my opinion, that's how I felt. And so up to that point, I lived in a small town, and the biggest complaint in a small town is there's nothing to do. And people approached the leadership, other churches in the town, say, hey, can we do something to give kids something to do? And that was the biggest complaint. And I just kind of got fed up with it. And so I started thinking while I was listening to this guy preach, I come up with this concept of, what do we do something Friday nights? Kind of like a tailgate party, or like a fifth quarter party. But let's do it every week. Let's do it every Friday night, whether the team is home or away, and reach this out to, first it's supposed to be high school, but let's make it high school, middle school, and reach out, give students something to do. And I came up with the concept within 24 hours, and what I wanted to do, what I wanted to look like. The time changed because originally I was going to do 9 to 11, but it turned out that it was going to be too late, because the idea was to do it after the high school football games were over. But time-wise, it just wasn't going to work out. So I decided to do it from 8 to 10 on Friday nights. And I presented it to the board that I was going to church. And originally they were hesitant on it, but they passed it. and they said, we don't think it's going to work, but we're going to give you a green light and give it a try, because at least it's something. You're attempting to do something nobody else is doing. And so they gave it a try, and I felt limited. So I met another preacher who gave me the opportunity to run it the original way of how I wanted to run it. The only caveat was it had to stay 8 to 10, because you don't want to you want to make sure that students get home on time. And it just took off. I had a lot of good people around me that made it successful, and said, this is fantastic. We believe in what you're doing. We believe in what you're putting together. This is good for the town. We want to make it work. So I had a couple people that could reach out to other people to give me funding, because I wasn't making a dime off of this. I wasn't getting paid. I hoped it developed to the point where I got paid, but really didn't get it paid. I was working 2 jobs to make it work, and because I believed in it. I believed in what I was doing. I believed in the message, and I called it Aftershock. And the reason I called it Aftershock is from the story in Matthew after Jesus died, and there's an earthquake, and the earthquake tore the temple veil in two, symbolizing that anybody could come to Christ, and anybody could come to Jesus, no matter who they are, no matter what they've done. The debt was paid. Our sin was taken care of, and it was set, and we are the aftershock effect of that. We can be free because of that moment in time. We can be set free from our sin. That's how that all came to be. So I called it Aftershock. And what I want to do with this, I want to take this story and just over weeks give you some insight on what to, or some thoughts, and just continue the story of Aftershock. And so this is the pilot episode, if you would, to what I'm calling the Aftershock effect. And this episode is telling you, I don't know what you're dealing with right now, what you're going through, or what your challenge is, or you're just wanting to do something. You want to do something meaningful. And whether it's make money, whether it's get a job, whether it is to help somebody, just do it. Just do it. Just figure out what that plan is and try something. And you might fail. You might have a bunch of people tell you this is the dumbest idea I've ever heard in my life. But you believe in it. And give it a try. And if you fail, adapt. Try something new. Try something that no one else has ever done. Because the success of what that program was is something that I'm proud of, and what it became is something that we can all relate to. Is we want to be a part of something bigger than ourselves. And if you're not, what are you doing? You can be bigger than what you're dealing with and what you're going through. And you can rise above anything that you're facing. Just try. Get up, try. Get up, do something. If you don't like it, do something about it. Because only way change happens is if you try something new, try something different, or at least attempt to do it. You don't know if you can sing unless you try to sing. You don't know if you can play baseball if you don't try to play. You don't know if you're good at something if you don't try. And you might fail, but that's okay. Get yourself up, dust yourself off, keep going. Don't give up. And I hope this is a message that resonates with all of you as we continue on through the weeks, as I'm going to continue through the Aftershock story. And hopefully this is a way and this helps connect with you. And I hope you have a good rest of your week. And if you need prayer or anything like that, feel free to comment and see what we can do. And hope this encourages you and motivates you to go on through the rest of your week. Have a good week.